One of the fastest growing sources for drug abuse is going to face one of its worst enemies, parents with a purpose.
News 13's Victoria Dunkel is streaming live from Asheville Middle School. Victoria, this is Drop Off Your Drugs Day.
It is, and this is an event that happens a couple of times a year in our area, and it's a great opportunity for you to get rid of one of the fastest growing sources of getting high for young people in our country, prescription drugs, and they're getting them, unfortunately, at home from the medicine cabinets. So go to the medicine cabinet. Not right now, I'll tell you in a minute. Go to the medicine cabinet in the commercial break and get your medicine ready, because you're going to get a chance to drop them off. And Lindsay Carver, you're with the Partnership for Substance-Free Youth here in Buncombe County.
Yes.
And this is something that is really important. Why do we need to think about doing this now?
We need to think about doing this now because youth are using any way they can to get high. We want to protect our youth. We want to get things out of the home and want to keep them safe.
So we're talking any kind of medicine, whether it's considered one that would be popular for kids to get high with or not, just any kind of old medicine.
Yeah, even your ibuprofens, your Advils, anything that's over the counter, including liquids and cough medicines as well.
Okay, so what I have to do is what? Just get them to one of the drop-off sites today, right?
Yeah, anytime between 7 and 10 today, come to any middle school within Buncombe County or Asheville City, including Upstate Charter School and Evergreen Community Charter School. You don't have to have one of our Ingalls bags, but you can bring them in any bag you want. You just simply drop it in this bag, and you just bring it to me, and there'll be a uniformed officer, and he or she will take care of it.
And then it's out of your hands. You don't have to worry about it. More importantly, it's out of the hands of our kids, whether for an intentional effort to get high or an accidental overdose. Either situation is a terrible situation, but we can help make sure that doesn't happen by taking advantage of this today. Coming up, a few things you do need to do before you do drop them in the bag there and get rid of these drugs. It's simple steps, not a big effort on your part, but it's an amazing effort that'll change lives. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
Summer break means more time at home for kids and more access to potential trouble. And that's the reason for the special invitation to clean out your medicine cabinets. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is streaming live in Asheville. Victoria, how do you drop off your drugs? How does all this work?
Well, it's really simple. You just go into your medicine cabinet. If you have prescription or even over-the-counter medications you're no longer using or that are outdated, this is your chance to get rid of them. Make sure they don't end up in the landfill, but more importantly, make sure they don't end up in the hands of kids who are looking for an easy way to get high. It's so dangerous, too. And Amanda, Lisa, and I were talking. You are not only part of the Partnership for Substance-Free Buncombe County Youth, but you're also a mom, and this really hits home for us moms. We want to make sure our kids are as safe as possible. What do we need to think about? Because a lot of people have taken advantage of this in the past.
Yeah, Victoria. It's really important for parents, grandparents, anyone that has children or has children visiting to lock up the drugs that you're even currently using. You know, it's important to dispose of what you're not using, but lock up what you are currently using.
And that's really important because, like, even toddlers, they get into everything, but older kids get curious as well. But there's one more thing, because drugs are a big and growing temptation for young people as far as getting high. There's another thing, though, around the house, alcohol.
Right. It's important to lock up your liquor as well. Not only locking it up, but also don't provide for your children. That's really important.
It's so important. We got to remember, we're not there to be their friends. We're there to be their parents and love them that way.
Absolutely.
And here's how you can do this and be thinking of your kids and everyone else in the neighborhood as well. Go to one of the middle schools in Buncombe County or Asheville, as well as Arts-Based Charter and Evergreen Community Charter schools today from 7 to 10 a.m. Bring your old meds. You can either bring them in one of these bags or just drop them off. They'll take care of them. The police officers are there to get rid of them the right way. It's an easy step to take to make sure you're protecting all of our kids. More details on how to do this when we come back again in our next half hour. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
Roughly 1 in 5 teens admits to getting high, and many say they got the drugs from their very own home. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is streaming live with a way to change those stats. Victoria, how can people break the supply chain, if you will?
Well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is go to your medicine cabinet today, grab the old medicine you're not using, and bring it to one of the participating schools for Drop Off Your Drugs Day. It's that easy, and it's that important. I'm talking to Amy Lynch, and she is actually one of the interns with the Partnership for Substance-Free Youth in Buncombe County. And we were talking about, just behind the scenes while we were waiting for this next interview here, you've actually had friends or know of people who've used prescription drugs that they got at home to get high?
Yeah, definitely. I've had friends in high school that have used prescription drugs and friends in college, you know, whether it's to cope with something stressful in their lives as an outlet or just to feel something different and experiment. So
But that is absolutely so dangerous. I mean, we were just talking about you should never be sharing drugs that if it's prescribed to you, only you. And when you're done with it, we need to get rid of it. What's your advice to young people who are watching right now?
I believe that young people need to know that just because prescription drugs are, prescribed by a doctor doesn't make them any safer than any other type of legal drug. And that's a very important message, and they shouldn't be using these substances to experiment with or for any use whatsoever, and they should talk to their parents and have them bring them in today.
It's so simple because this event goes from 7 to 10 o'clock this morning at any middle school in Buncombe County or Asheville City Schools, as well as Upstate Charter School and Evergreen Community Charter School. What you do is you just get your old prescription, go ahead and pull off the label. They don't need to know who you are, and they don't want to know who you are. Drop it off. You can get one of these bags from Ingles, or even if you don't have a bag, just bring it by. Now, one thing to remember, Mom and Dad, you need to be the one who brings it. Don't send the medicines with the kids to school. It's an adult drop-off of these drugs. They'll take care of them and make sure they don't end up in the wrong hands. As we're getting ready for summer break, when kids are going to be home and have more access to things around the house, coming up, we're going to talk about a few more ways that this is a really crucial and super easy way for us to protect our kids. Reporting live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.
One of the fastest growing sources for drug addiction is sitting right in most of our homes. News 13's Victoria Dunkel is streaming live from the Drop Off Your Drugs event.
And Victoria, young people are raiding medicine cabinets to get high.
That's exactly the case. About 20% of young people in a recent study said that they admitted to getting high, and the majority of them said they found the drugs in their own medicine cabinets at home. They think it's a little safer to go that route. Lindsay Carver, you say that is not a good thing to even think about. They're much more dangerous, in fact, right?
They are. You know, when a doctor gives a prescription to somebody, it's because they know their medical history. And when a prescription has been described to somebody and they take it when it's not theirs, it can be very deadly.
So what's going on today? This is the Drop Off Your Drugs event, and you really make it so easy for us to get rid of the leftover medicines around the house, right?
We try to, yeah. We want to target parents and people in the community who are working and may not have time to go to the permanent drop boxes that are at the Asheville Police Department and the Sheriff's Office. But if you pick up a bag at Ingles, or it can be any bag that you have, just simply put them in here. If you can, put your liquids in a separate bag, just bring them to any middle school, give them to us, and we'll take care of it.
And this has been pretty successful. You've only been doing this since 2012. This is the third Drop Off Your Drugs Day.
Yes.
And tell me about the success rate so far.
So with the 3 drop-offs, including the 2 permanent boxes we have here in Asheville, APD and the Sheriff's Office, we've collected almost 500 pounds of prescription drugs.
500 pounds. And I mean, let's face it, these little pills don't weigh a whole lot. So that's a lot of pills.
It is a lot of pills.
To get out of the reach of kids. I mean, and we're seeing this as such, they just think that it's a little bit safer to go this route.
It is.
And it is not a wise move to make. But also, this is a peace of mind thing for us moms, dads, and other adults who are around kids, right?
It is, yeah. You want to definitely lock up your medications. You don't want a chance of a toddler or a teenager or anyone going into your home and getting that medication and potentially harming themselves.
We're not only talking about the chance for kids to get high, but also an accidental overdose.
Exactly.
Now, this one here, the label's off the bottle.
Yes.
What else do I need to do? Do I need to do that step?
If you have time to do it, then you're welcome to. If you don't, we have permanent Sharpie markers. We will black out your name. I don't want to know who you are, and it's not important to us or the Sheriff's Office. So we'll just take it like this.
I don't know who that belongs to, but there it goes. Off it goes right now. So from 7 to 10 today at any middle school in Buncombe County or Asheville City, as well as the Upstate Charter School and Evergreen Community Charter Schools, 7 to 10 a.m. Drive up, drop it off. Grown-ups only. Don't send it with the kids to school. But it's a great opportunity. We have more details at WLOS.com on news links. Thanks so much for letting us know about this opportunity.
You.
Live in Asheville, Victoria Dunkel, News 13.